Nice job with those defenses. I've got nothing else I need right now. I think Preston may want to chat, though.
Hey.
Shoot.
Hey, Piper.
You look like you could use a pick-me-up.
Oh, nothing.
Okay. We're not gonna stay smooth skins much longer if we don't get a move on.
Mm-hmm.
I've been monitored.
Well, the Mafia wasn't accepting applications, but I do my best.
That's just what a commie spy would say. Smug bastards. Just what are you up to? Who are you working for? I want answers! Wait, the grand reopening? Are you...
Mm-hmm. Yes? Yes, that's right.
Manual authorization of the grand reopening requires authentication, so I'm going to need to see your ID. Sir.
Wait, manual activation?
Irrelevant. Now awaiting manual...
Here.
Scanning. Deception detected. You are... Every day is a good day to...
I got a Jim Norton commercial in front of me.
Ugh.
What is this about?
It's going to be fixed. I'm doing a gig in Philly, January 25th. The tickets haven't gone on sale. They go on sale Friday. And this is the commercial they sent my agent, and they thought that this, because I just sent a Comedy Central tape with sound bites and stuff, because what else am I going to send? And this was what they came up with. And just rest assured, we bleeped it out, the location, because it's the inaccurate location. Wrong venue. And it just really bugged me.
It's not you. Like anyone
I didn't create the commercial, no.
Anyone that
so the
knows
guy that created
you,
the commercial doesn't know you, probably.
Yeah.
He certainly doesn't.
Okay.
He got a tape of me.
Yeah, okay.
Is this entertaining?
No.
It might be, though.
He hates this commercial.
Let's take a listen. So this is a commercial for your upcoming gig.
And don't go to commercial anywhere else.
No, don't go to commercial.
Anytime we play a commercial to talk about, they go to commercial.
Yeah, no, we're still doing our radio show. So we're going to stop the tape when it gets silly, okay?
Yeah, immediately.
You know him from the Opie and Anthony show.
All right, it's silly already. It's silly already. The voice.
Yeah.
You know him. That's the same guy that went Motley Crue at Madison Square Garden.
That's the voice guy. Yeah, that doesn't...
Awful.
Does he...
Start getting wacky.
I can carry something if you need me to.
Just enjoy.
Okay.
Norton, and he's ready to raise some hell. Now, he's on his way.
They're gonna raise hell! Are you raising hell?
Yeah, I want everybody. It's so awful.
He's ready to raise hell.
Hey, guys, let's change that to heck.
10 tons of mud down and dirty in the bog.
He's ready to raise
hell.
And I'm going to walk out to that song. Da-na-na-na, hey! You bag of male spunk. That is absolutely an unacceptable commercial.
That's the same guy that goes, Bigfoot against Gravedigger.
Right. And he's ready to raise hell.
AC/DC
One night only.
Oh, how awful is that?
He's ready to raise hell.
I want everybody to bring those like styrofoam hands with the finger for number 1. We can all raise hell together.
Yeah. And then you're sitting there going, wait a minute, he's not raising hell.
No, he's doing jokes.
He's doing jokes. Funny guy.
Raising hell.
Well,
I'm not Kiss in 1977. I'm a meaty-breasted little nothing with an hour of material.
Special guest podcast.
All right, well, let's take a little listen here.
January 22nd. Here comes
Wrong date.
Jim Norton.
I hate skiing, and if you're killed doing it, good. Thanks.
Jim Norton, the Yellow Discipline Tour.
No way, you're calling it.
Yes.
Oh, that rocks.
That's my choice.
Now that rocks.
Yes.
See, you saw the natural laugh. That's funny.
The Yellow Discipline Tour.
It's January 25th. Not
With
26th.
Molly Hatchet and Charlie Daniels Band.
The Yellow Discipline.
At the Long Island Arena.
That's it.
Nice.
Raising hell.
All right, let's keep listening. Yellow
Nothing open. I'm like, all right, I'll call an escort service. $1,000? And she's like, well, she's really pretty.
Wait a minute. What happened there?
I'll tell you what happened there. Because what you want to do when you have a 1-minute commercial is take a bit with a lot of pauses in it and cut the words together. You know, escort service, $1,000, because that's how I deliver the joke. I don't do any natural speaking in that.
Right,
I just go, and you don't want to get to quick lines. You don't need to set up. You do quick lines. The whole thing will be redone. After hearing it on the radio, I wouldn't buy tickets to see me if I heard that.
Wait, Craig wants in
You
on
know,
it.
an escort service, $1,000, because that's the way I'm going to talk on stage.
Craig, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? I want to know if there's going to be a demo derby before Norton's show.
Demolition Derby.
A stuntman will be dropped in a Buick LeSabre right in the middle of the arena.
I also wanted to know if that robot that crushes cars and shoots fire out of those trucks is going to be there.
Truckosaurus.
I love that. That thing is great.
Fire-breathing, car-crushing madness. Truckosaurus and Jim Norton raising hell.
All right.
You know him from the Opie and Anthony show. He is Jim Norton, and he's ready to raise some hell. Now, he's on his way to the January 22nd. Here comes Jim Norton.
I hate skiing, and if you're killed doing it, good. Stinks.
Jim Norton, the Yellow Discipline Tour.
There's nothing open. I'm like, all right, I'll call an escort service. $1,000? It's just like, well, she's really pretty. Ah. Pete, none of this is good.
What? Esco said $1,000.
Yeah, I know. And then they put the bit, like you have pauses in bits,
Yeah.
which is fine on stage, but when you have 60 seconds on a commercial, like, you know, if you're killed skiing.
Quick hits, right.
Hate
Quick
skiing, if you're killed
hits.
doing it, good. Boom, next.
Yeah. You stink.
You stink. Boom.
Right.
Don't
Next.
touch me. Boom.
Eric's got a comment. Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering, do they sell you the whole seat to the Jim Norton show, but you only need the edge?
God damn, exactly, dude.
That's good, bro.
Oh,
That is
that's
good.
beautiful.
That's funny.
And you're right. That's
right.
exactly the vibe of that awful commercial.
Delsner, Slater, Vaughn, and Ruffino bring you Jim Norton, raising hell.
It's he's Jim Norton.
He's Jim Norton, raising hell. You know him from the Opie and Anthony show.
He's Jim Norton.
Will I get to cut her head off and keep it when I'm finished? One night only, January 22nd.
I'm actually writing a movie. It's about two cabbies that have a head-on collision and the explosion kills them both. The movie is called Wouldn't Life Be Good If This Happened Every 8 Seconds.
Don't miss Jim Norton. Hurry and get tickets right now at Ticketmaster outlet. Jim Norton, the Yellow Discipline Tour.
I have an awful sense of humor.
That's funny. The campy joke
That's a
is
good
great.
joke. Thank you.
Every 8 seconds.
Yeah, well, that's because they probably left it the way I naturally speak, and it's
Right.
short enough to do. You know, I didn't call an escort service $1,000. That's not the way I talk.
I'm writing a movie, Cabby Crash, 8 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break. Yeah, that's great. We'll have the right info, and we'll have tickets to give away to your show.
Wrong date, wrong venue.
Yeah, we'll take care of it, okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm
You
done
want
with
to
it.
give some away now?
Nice job with those defenses. I've got nothing else I need right now. I think Preston may want to chat, though.
Nice being on the move again. Fewer paper cuts than back home. day. Where are we headed?
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Low, low, man. Low, low,
You like contracts, right? You're a contract guy.
I read contracts instead of conventional pornography, yes.
And we're live and possibly scuffed because I scuffed that too hard. That's what it's on brand. On brand for me. A little bit late because I'm coming over from Meme Copium Show. The good news, you guys, Andrew Esquire, American attorney, legal mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Talking about exposing ourselves today. No, exposing fake Japanese people. Of course, we got a PP for you. A nice, lovely PowerPoint, of course. And I am joined by long. Long-time friend of the channel and my personal friend, one of my best, I will say, historically, one of my first expat friends who's also a content creator here in Asia. And that is, of course, Meme Copium, Josh,
Oh.
and
It's time for
Knock It.
the Niji Kai, is it? A second party. Let's go.
Yes. This is the second stop. So grab your Asahi, grab your whatever
Tories,
you want.
You got it.
Your Tories only in Japan, right? Only in Japan. Grab what you guys want. Strap in, and
Got my Drano drink here.
I'm sad I don't have any like super. I have like my Thai stuff is over there. I have my like Thai inhalers. I was stopped by. In Lao, and I was like using one of those. I gave you one. Yeah, there you go. Right.
Yes.
Fuck you go.
Must have scared him off. Hey.
Yes. Sir?
Heads up. Heads up.
What's mine is yours, sir.
Always on good behavior, aren't you?
Are we pack rats now, sir?
Well, if anyone could figure out how to use it.
Right
this
there.
one, this one.
Yeah. If you have one of those, people are like, you've been to Thailand or you lived in Thailand. Like
I've
it's
never
just
been to
such a
Thailand,
cultural-
actually. Yeah, I just
You
have
need
like a dozen of these from you. Like every time you come to Japan, because you have been in Japan, I can confirm.
Yes, I was
Um,
just there seeing you hanging out in Tokyo. You know, we had a great time in Kabukicho, great time, and we've been, you know, Osaka, other places. Actually, I'm probably going to be back. I don't know when this fall, because I want to do some like trekking in the mountains and stuff like that when the weather's better.
The weather
so-
just overnight, the humidity dropped, which was lovely.
That's great.
October, November, perfect time to come to Japan.
I'm thinking November. November is what I'm thinking about. But yeah, it's the best time to
That's a good
come.
hike.
I'd recommend.
All right, that's
Yeah,
good.
it-
I reckon it's job.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll talk. But once again, these are people who actually are in Asia versus the accounts we're talking about today, which are not. And the biggest problem that I had about this is they are spreading misinformation. And in the light, especially of Charlie Kirk, we're in the United States, we're on this war against misinformation. Which once again, people who labeled Charlie Kirk as a Nazi and said all sort of crazy defamatory things about him, right? People who are still saying crazy and false things, misinformation. You are valid to criticize misinformation. But you also need to hold yourself to a standard that you care about misinformation, no matter whether it suits your political beliefs or not.
Yeah,
So
because a lot of these people are, like we were talking about on my show, is that they leverage people's already either love for Japan or their animosity to certain groups of people, and
Correct.
then use that to push their own agenda while completely misrepresenting the actual facts of the situations in Japan, typically.
Correct. So the point is there a lot of these people are leveraging, and I think it's just fair to say, Josh, it would be more right-leaning, right? So the people that are right-leaning or maybe centrist or maybe you could say anti-immigration, right? That's the people that they're trying to appeal to. That's the main issue that these accounts put out. There's some other stuff, but that's the main one. It usually is an anti-immigrant.
Yeah, that's because it's maybe they have their own, racial hatred or something.
Yes,
or they're
likely.
just looking at their own countries and thinking that, like, well, they can't get anywhere in life because it must be all the immigrants stealing the jobs or something. It's actually because they're just useless people. They have nothing to provide for society. Who can say? Who can say?
One of the ones that really got me on the case here, and everyone who follows my channel, you know what I cover on the channel.
Look alive.
Did you hear that?
getting paranoid. Nothing here.
Everything's starting to sound like footsteps these days.
Getting shook up over nothing.
Naughty
On the
word,
waist,
but would you want to
otherwise.
leave the good stuff?
Hear that? Was that you?
Tired yet?
Always on good behavior, aren't you?
I try to be.
Seems like you're doing.
Right.
I appreciate, of course, in my experience.
Is when they posted misinformation about Johnny Somali. This
Yeah.
one was very clear. So they tried to make it sound like this is
This
Gino and
character.
Johnny. And we've been covering these guys forever. This guy is one of the, once again, there's many LARP accounts. This is a re-account of me.
One of the first.
One
This
called
is one of the
Mio,
first.
yeah.
This is one of the first accounts that I encountered, actually. Well,
Yeah.
apart from Cog, obviously. But they got very upset with me because, well, I was exposing them for being a bit of a weirdo.
So the reposting a video, which is like 3 or 4 years old at this point, right? Clearly, Johnny Somali is. We all know where he is. He's locked up in Korea. He cannot leave Korea. So the fact that these guys are trying to repost this information, share this information, make it sound like it's happening right now is all for rage bait. It's all for clicks. And of course, as soon as they get called out, they immediately delete the post. Right? They're just trying to fish, throw gumballs out from the gumball machine and try to hit a, golden gumball, right? Because if these things do trend, they can make a lot of money. And there are other reasons why you'd want to drive a wedge between the United States and Japan. And I'll get into those in a second.
I know a fun little fact about this account in particular, actually. So they, apart from using AI voices, AI fake skinwalking women images and things like that, they actually first, like their old content was talking about like ridiculously niche historical stuff. Well, I guess it's not that ridiculous, but it's very male coded. And specifically, they made a video about Togo Heihachi.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, did I miss?
I got you.
They're making a video about Togo Heihachi, which is a naval commander. Women not very interested in boats typically. But there are some other cases. However, it's so funny because their old stuff is so clearly male. But then they're like, "Well, I've got."
Hey. Hey.
Better days, hasn't it?
I got to pretend to be a woman now, so I'll start making videos about menstrual cycles and bladder leakage. Like, I'm not even joking. This is what they're doing. They're like, well, I'll just throw down a couple of period videos, and then clearly they'll think I'm a Japanese woman. Of course. Oh, weak bladders. Women have weak bladders, right? It's like, it's comical. It's like they're looking at caricatures of people and then trying to use that as examples for why they're legitimate sources.
And when you're relying on caricatures, you're often in a position where you are only have those caricatures, right? Because if you go to Japan, if you meet real Japanese people, you see, you know what? A lot of times people don't fit into the stereotypes that you make of that country. And those stereotypes you may have may be completely dated. Right, you may be talking about a different generation of people. One thing we talked about in your channel was like some of the hatred towards Korea, right? A lot of that, if I talk to people in their 20s and 30s, they just don't. It's just something that's not there like it is with other generations and people. And it's something that, and I here in Bangkok, I know people that are, I know Japanese and Koreans that get along just fine. In fact, one of my closest friends, he's a Korean guy who, likes Japanese rappers and likes to go to the hip hop clubs with them, right? There's often people that are just cool with everybody and don't fit these stereotypes of Japan. So
I would like
to
just quickly before we move on. So that account as well, as you were mentioning, it was their sub account. Their original account actually got deleted because they started to crash out when they were being accused of being a LARPer, because people were just like, why don't you just post a picture of like a Tories can, or why don't you go get a coffee or a strong, no, maybe not strong, maybe Fammy Chicken or something. They crashed out. They started using so many slurs. They got their account deleted on 2025 Twitter, mind you, which is quite a feat. actually.
Crazy. Yeah.
And then they claimed that they were being shut down because of, the left was shutting them down for speaking truth to power, or it was organized hate campaigns, which is not the case. Like, they're the ones that are organizing these hate campaigns and they tried to do it against you today, but it didn't really work.
And it's not going to work because, once again, what are they going to try to say? That I'm like, people know who I am. People have seen me. I've been in real life. Many other content creators have met me. You've met me. Many people have met me on the internet, including massive content creators, right? So it's like, everybody knows I'm here. It's well documented where I am, right? In general, right? In Asia, right? Sometimes I don't give away my exact location, which is kind of small. Smart for OPSEC. But that said, I'm in Asia. I've been here. I'm in Thailand right now. Lived in Korea. I've been many times to Japan. All of these things are very, very, very well documented. Versus people who have zero proof. They have been anywhere near Japan at all. In fact, I would even say many of these people might not even be eligible for a Japanese visa, right? They might even not even be able to get in on a tourist waiver because they may not be from a country that can just show up to Japan.
That's actually interesting. Like, we sometimes do forget the amount of privilege we do actually have coming from Western countries, because we can just show up in Japan without any sort of applications. Like, a lot of Chinese people, they can't do that. They have to come with these government groups or state-sponsored tourist things. It's
and they might have to prove income. That's another thing too. A lot of and this happens with a lot of even in different countries. Well, they'll show up, and a Westerner can just show up and they assume you have enough money. But if you show up from other countries, they're checking how much money you have on you because they don't want you to be destitute, right? They want to know that you have enough money to go back home, enough money for your trip. They're really checking. And you know what? Maybe it's not fair, but that's the way immigration really works. And anybody who's been to another country, who's traveled like I have to almost 100 countries, right? This is the fact. They know this is true, right? Which leads me to believe that these people are still.
There's actually a good travel tip in general. If you come to Japan, is you should have a flight out already booked.
Nice job with those defenses. I've got nothing else I need right now. I think Preston may want to chat, though.
guess.
I'm always glad to see the sun come up one more time. You ask me, freedom's always worth fighting for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if you want to delay it or something, like you can get a flight from Kansai Airport to Seoul for like $30 sometimes, like really cheap. Just have that flight. You can cancel it or change it later. But if you show up in Japan without a return flight, their immigration might give you a bit of a second glance. And this is what some of these people do: is they show up with very little money and no ticket home, and they're like, "Well, wait a minute, what are you doing here?" So you could run into that issue.
It can happen. Let me get some of these chats and memberships, and then we'll rock in the PP. We'll whip the PP back out.
Yes, got to compare PPs from my stream.
Yes. Fallen Hero 4567 says gives one illegal mindset membership. Thank you so much. Felzu says Strong Zero, my only friend. Kampai. I don't have Strong Zero today.
Rough time, man.
Are you sure there isn't someone more suited to all this?
Let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hey, I know I haven't pulling my weight around here, and I'm really trying to do better. Okay?
Oh, there's nothing to apologize for.
I don't know.
I haven't had it in a while. They're not very good for you, but
I have White Claw in my fridge because of reasons. But yeah, Dark Canister for 2 Singapore says, "Ariga thanks gozaimasu."
Yeah, that's a fun one. There's a couple fun Japanese English mixes.
Pie Baker for 10 says, friendly reminder, folks, 7-8 Don't was founded in the 1800s. They ran hotels and sold playing cards with depictions of comfort women. They came with the hotel rooms.
I don't know
Okay.
anything about this.
I don't know what. Yeah, exactly.
This seems very specific.
Wait, wasn't that like 7, 8? No. Wasn't that like Nintendo, like or something like that? That's like one of the
Nintendo
companies-
started as like a
Playing
making
card company, right?
pencils or playing cards. Yeah, I
Was
think
it?
so. Yeah.
Yeah, and that may be representing them. I don't know. Hika gifted 5 legal mindset memberships. Thank you so much, Hika. Ivanson Nightfall said, Ohio and Ohio Andrew-san. I think that's what you meant. I got you. I got you. Martin Lee for 50 Hong Kong. Thanks so much. Got a live stream in the meeting. Hey, welcome. And Pizza King says day 2 of the meme war on the Pokemon Company. Yes, I'm going to get more into that tomorrow. We're going to be dunking on them and teaching them transformative. But just real quick, so you guys see, I am going hard in the paint on them on X. I want a special shout out because I know he's in the chat here. Don P. Baumwager helping me out with the AI. It's getting really, really good. We got it in the theme of the early one, kind of linking ice to Pokemon to really annoy them and destroy them in memes, which are transformative fair use. So we're going to be getting into transformative fair use and memes and all the Pokemon stuff tomorrow because it's really, really important. They said this would die down in a couple days, and I guarantee you I can keep it up for more than a couple days, right? Without any pills. I can keep this thing up. So yeah, we'll be doing that tomorrow. Make sure you go out there. And if you do, by the way, if you do want to support me in this campaign against Pokemon Company, you want to tweet out Stop the Pokemon Company International at Pokemon and use this kanji because this is what they're trying to hide. This is what they don't want to trend.
That's a company name. That's just every
Is the
company
company
has the
yes.
Like you're either like a KK or a GK. GK is like kind of like an LLC. Usually,
So they
sole
fear
proprietor.
this. This is what you got to tweet out. This language here. You can just copy it from my X post. We're gonna keep this thing going. We probably just pump out the memes, pump out the facts. We got JD Vance as Ash here. Just keep memeing them
Not a real
until. Of course, this isn't a real photo.
So I think
Of
his
course
parent,
it's-
his kids like Pokemon, right? Like I think, yeah, that's pretty cool. Cool.
Yeah, it's a really good one though. It's a really, really good one though. Like that's one that looks very, very convincing.
You know what's funny
but-
is I don't recognize real photos of JD Vance anymore. I only can recognize the the meme version of him where it's like they got the goofy face.
I don't even think JD Vance recognizes photos of himself anymore at this point.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre.
Muzzy says, "Peeps still choosing to be nuisance streamers." Yeah, but one thing to be careful of because there's one that happened in Japan, and I was thinking about covering it, but somebody watched the whole video and said, "Oh, it was really like."
Is this the guy that got hit on the train?
Yeah, but here's the thing: they watched the whole video and they're like, actually, number one, the Japanese guy, if you think about culture, was being kind of annoying, and number two, it's not like a super crime to be doing that, right? It's not like what he was doing was like.
It was
violating...
a more complex situation, because he was sitting in the priority seats, which you can sit in the priority seats when there's nobody else sitting around. It's just you have to move for elderly, infirm, or pregnant people. But then, the Japanese guy actually hit him first, and he probably shouldn't have been live streaming, and he shouldn't be annoying. That doesn't give the Japanese man license to hit him, and it certainly didn't give the live streamer the license to push him back. Right, after he'd already de-escalated. So it's more complicated. It's like an everyone sucks here situation.
And by giving him attention, what you're doing is you're feeding that behavior. So they're going to go out there and do more. You're creating the Johnny Somali when really the best thing to do is ignore these people because usually they're irrelevant. They go away. They're churned out. These nuisance streamers, they go and they're churned out within a year or two. They're used up and spat out, and there's a new one that comes out. So it's a little bit of whack-a-mole and a little bit of, for me, I will cover them when they commit a crime that's clear, and there's a reason to kind of go after them. But thanks for forwarding stuff to me, guys. Okay. Strong Zero or Highball, which is your poison? I prefer Highball.
I think I prefer Highball, but the Strong Zero is a guilty pleasure. I specifically like the double ume one, which is kind of hard to find these days. The grapefruit is the regular one that everyone tries, but I like the double ume. It's got such an artificial flavor, but in the right way. I don't know. Maybe it's from my poor upbringing or something.
It hits right. It hits right.
Yeah.
Well, you are poor. You are poor. Okay, let's get into this with the fake Japanese. Obviously, like I said, this got me. That is defamation in Japan. That's super defamation, which we'll get into in a second. So obviously this got me into it. And let's talk about some traits of these posts, right? And we'll get into some of the examples, the top two really that I want to talk about today. But some of the traits of these fake accounts on X, and this is primarily happening on X, right? They're consistently posting at non-Japanese times. So they're posting at times that would be consistent with England or the UK or maybe America, but certainly not in Asia. So once again, you guys know I am a night owl. I do stay up late. That tends to be happening from streaming, and just people tend to stay up very late in Thailand, especially in Bangkok. So I do end up staying a lot of nights till 2, 3 in the morning. But however, I am not constantly posting only during 2, 3, 4, 5 p.m. Asia time or my time, right? That is a weird behavior if you are claiming to be in Japan. Now, some of these people will say, well, I work at Family Mart on the night shift. Really? Really?
You know, you can buy at Family Mart at any time during any time of the day. They're open 24 hours. If you're at the night shift, just grab a Tories. Why not?
And just so you guys know, that's one of the tests. They call it kind of the Tories test. The people that are hunting down these folks, like Josh Below, this guy on X called Shogun. The people came up with this test to go buy something that is uniquely Japanese, right? That is only in Japan, or you really can't find it elsewhere, and show it in a photo, right? You don't have to put your whole face in there if you don't want to, but you got to show it in a photo and some proof that that's you doing the thing, that's you holding the thing, right? So you can't just find a picture of a can that, be like, look, there's a can. Okay, well, how do we know you're there or you're doing this, right? You got to be verifying it in some way. So they can't do that. And if you look at their profile photos, your profiles at writ large, they have no self photos, no proof of themselves being abroad, right? They have no proof of themselves getting politically active. And for people that are claiming to be so politically active, they should have real photos out there doing stuff. Even if they wear a mask or a hat or something else, they have none of that. Most of what they have are AI profile photos. which is a dead giveaway of, okay, this is a faker. And it'll usually try to be something that is like anime or cute or whatever else in order to try to get you to
Is this it? Is this? Oh, yeah. All right, now I see levels. Holy shit. Again, this was fucking, as I was trying to explain since the beginning, because the microphone was working the whole time. Yesterday, I did a video of this. I recorded video, not of this. I recorded a video and all that shit. And the microphone was working. It was getting picked up, and nothing changed. I didn't change a single thing with my computer. And I have to go hit the thing again. Yeah. Let me just do that. Yeah, okay. This should be, is it working now? Oh, the last thing is me. Okay. Well, thank you, Logical Mail. Thank you for at least letting me know about the fucking, because, yeah, it doesn't make any sense that my microphone wasn't working. And I had indeed been talking the whole time. What I'm really trying to do on this stream is oh, he's okay. As I explained at the very beginning, that didn't even get picked up, is that I'm trying to stress test my computer to make sure it doesn't just shut itself down. Whoa. Because, yeah, I was having problems with this game, and I think I have solved the problems. Specifically, the problems with the game, like, shutting off my computer, and that might still happen. Who knows? What? But the purpose of it was to make sure that this would work for the Clips and Video episodes. But this episode is kind of a wash because all the stuff I've been recording, the soundboard isn't working. Well, you know what? The soundboard might work now. Maybe that's why. No, that's still not. Yeah, that was something I was having a problem with at the beginning. Don't have any clue why it's not working. It seems more like that this thing isn't letting the interaction. In fact, here, wait, there's a... Yeah, wait. It looks like that's off, so... Whatever, it could be something else that's wrong with that. The fucking Windows 11 has just been shitting everything up. I've been doing other streams on the side channel. But, and those work because that's on the Steam Deck, the wonderful Steam Deck. That just doesn't give me any problems because there's no Windows. Anyways, yeah, I did a test recording on this computer, though, playing this, trying to do this shit, and the microphone was working and all that shit. And then just today, all of a sudden, nothing. As fucked. But, well, who cares? I'll probably cash out on the stream because if you've been listening to this stuff so far, you know, I was trying to do commentary on it. In fact, that's why I was pausing and stopping and all that shit. Wait, I'm missing something from here, aren't I? But, yeah, most of the time when I was pausing, here's what I was saying, is that this is certainly more important than mass immigration to Japan, which is, you know, by action, what they're against. Mass immigration to Japan, not as important as some guy on Twitter, some just goofy shitposter trolling people on Twitter. That is far more important, more righteous cause, more heroic, for sure. That might be more important than mass immigration to America, of course. But I mean, you know, America, Japan, it's essentially the same thing. It's way more important to look for one guy on Twitter who they're saying is pretending to be Japanese. I've been following him for a few months, and I've never seen him once pretend to be a Japanese person. I just saw him mostly posting about videos of, apparently, protests in Japan against immigration, and voicing opinions about being against mass immigration in Japan. And then that would be like half of his posts or tweets, and then the other half would just straight up be trolling other people and offensive racist stuff, which is, again, the like I had said on this, that apparently didn't even get picked up, is the exact stuff that Nick Rekieta used to hide behind when he would get completely fucking blown out in an argument. Nick Rekieta would say the other person got blown out in an argument and hide behind, you know, like, oh, they're being offensive, that kind of shit. And we've seen that. We've been personally witness to that. So, you know, living proof of that. The same old usual stuff, though. And again, I figured this was a good excuse to test the stream, which the game is working. The game is working quite well. But a bunch of other problems. Mainly the soundboard. I miss the soundboard so much, but also not mainly. Much less important that my microphone wasn't picking up anything. Very unfortunate. What? Oh, wait. Completely free milk bottle. Anyways, so, yeah, I went on to this whole thing earlier, throughout the entire rest of the stream about, the situation with, YouTube, people on YouTube, YouTubers, people who, you know, think whatever they think their politics are, and then in action, their politics are the exact opposite. The same old story. A lot of the stuff about the whisper networks that all these people were in, the swingers networks also that they were involved with and covering up, and still are covering up. But a lot of that stuff I've talked about in previous streams, so I thought it was certainly funny and pertinent to bring it up in this stream, but apparently not even being recorded. It's hard to tell if my microphone's being picked up from here. Although I could have looked at the levels. That's what I needed to do. Very unfortunate. Very sad. Right now, I can keep going, I guess. Salvage what's left of the stream, but I was going to just skip. I was about to just hit next track and just listen to that instead. Now I guess I gotta listen to this. So here, let's listen to some of this. Maybe get back on track. That's, I think, the most important part of all of this.
I think, okay, this is a Japanese person.
They really love the AI. They're able to use it as an authority and also their greatest tool. But I think, interestingly, there's some benefit there, because you can use the AI tools to hunt them down and show that they're stealing photos or they're stealing content, or just read through their posts and make aggregate
I can get that working.
Information grabs about what they're talking about.
Yeah. So another one is all their posts are in English, right? So obviously that's a huge one. Or maybe they'll have their profile, some Japanese in their profile to make you think that their profile bio or something to make you think they're Japanese. But beyond that, they're not communicating fluently in Japanese, because if they are Japanese, they'd be able to do that, right? And they are cosplaying as Japanese. They're all pretending to be Japanese, not, oh, I'm an immigrant in Japan. No. They're pretending to be Japanese.
Okay.
And this is a very strange thing as well, because as we were talking about earlier, the majority of these are very right-leaning and they're very nationalistic, and there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. That's fine. But it's very...
Not necessarily anything wrong. I'm glad that, there could be conditionally something wrong with it, but as long as it's not necessary. Record, you guys were right about Comicsgate for years. Too bad a fat koala took down the receipts in your last channel. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, if you're hearing me just fine, it's because I not only just fixed my microphone, but the little bouncing thing, the PNG tuber thing in the corner, just for a goof. Once again, thanks to Nopeful for making that. But that was even set to the wrong microphone. It was set to my Pico microphone. I don't know why my Pico microphone is being set to anything. It's setting itself to that after fucking a couple weeks or something. It was just out of nowhere. I don't even have the Pico software installed. I stopped using that. I haven't used that for fucking 5 months now. It's very annoying. But for some reason, Pico microphone, you know what I should really do? Well, first, what I want to do is get a new computer, just start fresh. I could start fresh with this, but I always hate doing a fresh reinstall of anything, and the only time I ever do that is if something is completely annihilated hardware-wise and I have to replace it, or I get a new computer entirely. It's very tragic. It's the worst part. It's the worst thing about any other computers. A computer that I've been very happy with lately, though, again, is the Steam Deck. I got the cheapest Steam Deck. In fact, that's on sale right now. That usually means they're going to stop making it. The cheapest model of the Steam Deck. They have the higher internal memory, higher specs Steam Decks those are not on sale. They might be coming out with the Steam Deck 2 in the next couple of years or something. They could and should. I would also like the I think it's called the Deckard. That's what they're calling the new Steam headset, but that's probably going to be expensive as shit. Somebody asked earlier what headset I was using. I'm using the Quest 3. I gave the Pico to somebody else. A family member. And, wow. I can pick flowers in this game. Anyways, Yeah, so I got rid of the Pico 4. I don't have the stuff. There might be some other Pico 4 stuff that I should look for. I need to look for it and fucking get rid of it, but I don't think that's going to help because, again, the way Windows sets my microphone on this to something else on its own without asking, just complete bullshit. And it does that. It only does that the exact second that I think it finally stopped doing that, because I check every single time, every video I do, every stream. Whenever I stream, I'm like, let me just throw on some stuff and stream. I'll just fucking throw on a thing and stream. Just a nice casual stream. Cage. You know, just show up, throw on a video in the background, maybe a talk, something like that. And then, of course, fucking every time I want to just do it easy when it should just work, every single time is the only time that it fucks everything up. It fucks up. It changes the microphone to something that has never been a microphone or has never been plugged in or whatever for like 2 years at this point. Some shit like that. That's happened before too for the people who are followed the original channel. Which is a very good point being made. Us being right about Comicsgate for years. We were right about Comicsgate for years before Comicsgate even existed. The exact thing we said was going to happen with Comicsgate. In fact, that's one thing I was playing. I wanted to play this video because it also was further proving our point. Not just about Comicsgate, but some contingent of the refugees, the cast-offs and that kind of stuff. A lot of them are still the people who were in the Whisper networks, who were completely guilty of covering up all the shit about, about all sorts of shit. Like, there's, like, the stuff, I said this earlier in this stream, and Dinker picked up, but the stuff Nick Rekieta got caught doing is a drop in the bucket compared to what all the rest of them were doing at the same time, knew about. All of them knew about it. All of them were covering it up, and they still are. There are still child abusers in these people's friends groups that these people know exactly about. Like, for instance, if you're a parent and you're faking death threats against your children, and while you're faking death threats against your children, at literally the exact same time that you are faking death threats against your own children for clout and YouTube money, you are also catfishing complete strangers on the internet for dick pics, and then also catfishing them to be stranded out in the middle of nowhere. Which, leaving, oddly enough, Doug TenNapel, the creator of Earthworm Jim, and Doug Ernst, Washington Times writer who has become an indie comic creator, to have to help that poor guy who was left just completely penniless, broke with like fake promises of being offered a new job, in Comicsgate and all that kind of shit. And that was the story of that umbrella guy and his wife. And Nick Rekieta knew about it. Yellow Flash knew about it. And not only did they cover it up, but to this day, they still protect the umbrella guy about it and don't admit it. And they're, that's just one example. All the rest of them have done shit like that. All of them know about it. All of them are in the DM groups where they agreed to, how to cover it up best, that kind of shit. So that's a lot of crazy shit. And so I wanted to. Again, this video is about somebody I follow on Twitter who just is a shitposter, just straight up a shitposter, and they're trying to monetize exposing this shitposter as not actually being Japanese. And I was listening to the video to be like, well, let's hear the whole story. Let's hear what their story is. And their story is, I was going to say, you know what happens when we assume, me specifically, if you've been following us for long enough, you've seen what has happened when I assume, but I could be wrong in this situation. But I've listened to this now for a while, and clearly I wasn't. My assumptions, as they always tend to be, are completely correct. You know what happens. As Windows story of my life, the story of Windows. There's no alternative. Oh, that sucks. Sounds like Tug and Lola. It in fact was Tug and Lola. Again, that's just the stuff that spilled out into public, and people still don't admit to it. The stuff about Rekieta, everyone would have been denying it and protecting him if it wasn't for the fact that he was arrested. Without the arrest, and again, even the stuff he was arrested for, the cocaine and all that other shit, exposing his 8-year-old daughter to cocaine, intentionally giving his 8-year-old daughter cocaine. Let's face it. Let's fucking not be all legalese about it. Let's not have a legal mindset about it. Let's just tell the truth instead. Nick Rekieta intentionally exposed his daughter, his 8-year-old daughter, to cocaine. That, though, is still just one example of all of the shit that all the rest of them who were in the same circles, in the same whisper networks, in the same DM groups, all of them were also doing, all of them also know about, all of them, like, again, get legal mindset to tell you about the fucking shit that he knows Tug did. First of all, he won't admit he knows about it, then he won't admit that happened. But all of it happened. The people who were involved came out, showed the receipts. It was proven, and it goes to show, especially with LawTube. There's that other guy who's the fucking fat marshmallow dude. Sean. That's right. I only remember because of fucking Rekieta saying his name all whinily. But even that Sean guy covers up for it too. Still to this day, he's covering up for all of that shit because the people weren't arrested. The only one who was arrested was Rekieta. Only until one of these other people get arrested will they say, oh, I can't believe that they were doing stuff like this. But they knew. All of them, they all knew about Rekieta. They knew the stuff Rekieta was doing. They know the stuff that all the rest of them were doing. The fucking drugs and sex parties at Anime Matsuri, that kind of shit. Again, that's just a one example among huge piles of others. And those are the salacious examples. There's just the regular, deplatforming, agreeing behind the scenes to deplatform. After all, it wasn't just Liam. It was Liam who flagged our channel, but Liam wasn't doing that just because Liam wanted to do that. It was the people in Comicsgate, Ethan Van Sciver. Nick Rekieta also fully knew about that going on. He knew that would be bad optics if he, because at first he was, in fact, in the DM groups and stuff, Nick Rekieta was, celebrating. But in public, Nick Rekieta knew that he can't publicly celebrate us being censored and deplatformed for telling the truth, of course. So again, and Legal Mindset is one of the guys who took Rekieta's side and all that. And he will deny that, of course, because if you knew what any of these people did, they might lose their silver play buttons, which is the most important thing to them. They basically are. They're living silver play buttons. They are abject silver play buttons, you could say. Let's listen to a little more of this, though, even though I got the gist of it, but only when I was... Unfortunately, my mic just not... Windows detecting... Why doesn't Windows just detect a microphone that's making noise and make that the microphone? Wow, what a genius idea. That's just off the top of my head, but anyways.
Very peculiar for someone that is such a nationalist to be posting on the content in English. Who are they trying to appeal to? English people don't have any effect.
This is actually a good point in the chat. Actually, a couple. Mike Campos here saying that means Aaron knew. Yeah, Aaron knew. That was the thing. You look at the stream where fucking Ethan, where Rekieta got arrested. What was the first thing that Aaron said? He said, "No, that didn't happen. No, Rekieta wasn't arrested. He wasn't arrested for cocaine." And then 5 seconds later, it gets confirmed. And he's like, okay, now I can talk about it. Yes, we did cocaine together. All of these people, all of these types of people knew all about that for years. Every single one of them. They knew it. They did it with him. They were exposed to it. They were aware of it. They didn't care because they did care about keeping it secret. They cared to the extent that they approved of it. Like Legal Mindset knew that Nick Rekieta was doing cocaine around his own children and was happy about it because it meant as long as nobody else found out, he would still be riding the whole LawTube Rekieta friendship gravy train. That is the extent that they care. Aside from that, they don't give a shit. They don't have they're clinically incapable of morality. They're clinically incapable of having a soul, which, in my opinion, that's a bad thing. The other stuff I said, though, that's not my opinion. That's just real. It's real in a way that they don't want you knowing about, thinking about, talking about, digging into, or any of that shit. And luckily, to their benefit, almost nobody ever even thought about it for 1 second. Like Kiwi Farms was more than happy to just lick Nick Rekieta's piss off the floor and ask for seconds for years. And we didn't, which, you know, on an objective moral level puts us above Kiwi Farms. But, and the thing is, I don't even hate Kiwi Farms. I just understand them. Kiwi Farms is Kiwi Farms. I know what they are. They're just a drama board. And like most drama boards, they worship status. Status is and always will be way more important than God or Jesus Christ to any of these people, including people who say they're Christians. If you see someone who says they're a Christian and they were friends with Nick Rekieta, they're not a Christian. They are a person who has replaced status and popularity, clout, whatever you want to call it. They have replaced that in their hearts, inside. Oh. Yeah, no, I'm okay. Better than okay, you could say. But yeah, Aaron knew before hooking up with Nick Rekieta. He did it. Yeah, they all of them knew. They were very aware. They didn't have anything against him. In fact, to them it just meant party time. It was a good thing. Kirk, Fasci. Whoa. Oh, I get it. Okay, who can not recognize the wonderful James T. Hitler did nothing wrong, Kirk. In 2018, I liked Rekieta. Well, I remember thinking, Rekieta was an honest, on-the-level guy in 2018 also. So I can't say, in 2018, I was calling out that's what I try to always qualify it as saying it was really in 2019 was when I started noticing it. Remember you guys being guest on a show back in the day? Yeah. Way back in the day. Legal Mindset is the guy who fingered himself in Rekieta's OnlyFans. But again, there's a bunch of stuff I don't know about. I don't even know if that's a joke or really something or what. That could be certainly something. I mean, kind of reminds me of the wording, phrasing of that. It's a little weird, but most importantly, it reminds me of Gavin McInnes owning the libs, triggering the libs, owning the libs by ramming a butt plug into his faggot ass. Savato. Kiwi Farms is late to the party. Rekieta and Comicsgate. They figure out eventually. Yes, way many years after we had told them and been right. In fact, there's a lot of people on Kiwi Farms who read Kiwi Farms back then, and now there are people on Kiwi Farms who were just straight up saying we were right, but it was a tiny minority. You could say the most hyper of Hyperboreans compared to all the other brown people, surrounded by the sweaty brown people of Kiwi Farms. That makes up like 99% of that wonderful classic website. You really own me. I don't like being owned. Anyways, let's listen to again. The case is made. Their whole argument here is, pointing out they have not said a single thing against mass immigration, which maybe they'll say something against mass immigration at some point. But it's clear that they are like Nick Rekieta in that or also like Comicsgate. It's the whole mass problem with that is that they say that they think one thing, and then in their actions, they do the exact opposite. And that was one reason why they had to take down our channels, our previous channel specifically. They want to take this one down, of course. And this one's been flagged plenty of times, specifically for that, is that we have proven, and we're taking the receipts, showing that their actions are the exact opposite of what they say. It's what they called the grift, right? Now, grift have been playing out. Cozener doesn't really roll off the tongue as well, of course. But it's just the situation that's always been there, is that they get a lot of money being monetized on YouTube. And again, where does that money go? Where do those super chats, when they have super chats and read them off, where does a big chunk of that money from the super chats go back to? If you know the answer to that, you know why we're right. If you don't know the answer to that, if you're like, well, where does it go? You are usually part of the problem yourself. Or maybe you just haven't heard yet. That's always possible. But the fact is, most of that money goes right back to YouTube. You're not really against the woke mob if you're making money for the woke mob. Doesn't matter what your excuse is either. You're getting monetized on YouTube. Just fucking, and go ahead, by all means, go ahead and do that, but don't pretend to be against the woke mob if you're doing that. Really, in 90% of examples of that, where people are like, the woke mob is bad, Disney, Star Wars bad, those people are working for a large company. They're under contract with a large company to do that, to collect in your super chats, because it works. But they are not against the thing. Basically, it's like if they were giving money to Disney to tell you that they hate Disney. If you fall for it, congrats, you're a fucking sucker. You're a dumb fucking rube. That's just your nature. That's your genes. That is the genetic makeup of what you are, most likely born as, and you can't change your genes, so you're just going to be like that for the rest of your life. But there is a tiny chance, Sturgis, get out of my face. There's a tiny chance that you can at least absorb some of the Hyperborean vril. It's just pouring off of this stream when my microphone works. And you can use that to at least see through the portal when the time is right, to see straight through that Hyperborean portal and enjoy us, at least vicariously, the mega super ultra wonderful life that we have and we exist as. CGR gay, you're right. You're right. How do I become always right like you? I don't know. Just born with it, I guess. I don't know. I wish I could tell people, like, step one is at least listening, being willing to listen to the people who know. I wouldn't even say we're always right. It's just because sometimes it's like I will sit around for a few months and just see what the overall thing is. But a lot of it's just noticing patterns. The patterns of people. Well, just not even the patterns. Just look at the people who are friends with Nick Rekieta. Okay, now that whole thing has fallen apart, are they supporting the other people who are the same as Nick Rekieta? If they are, they're not trustworthy. End of story. It's that easy. It seems like such an easy formula. And that's really, I think that's it, is in a way just finding the one, like the touchstone, something, or maybe the Rosetta Stone, some kind of stone. Just find a stone. But I mean like a central figure that shows blatantly that they are dishonest. And sometimes that takes a while for them to really reveal it. Took a while for Rekieta and fucking Ethan Van Sciver. But you gotta look, you don't, again, it's complicated. You gotta look for the clues, but it's not just the clues either, because a lot of people, even us, want to give people the benefit of the doubt. You have to be able to give somebody fuck. He's okay. You have to be willing to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. Yep. I'm just gonna. Oh wait, what am I doing? There. No, it's just not. It's just not the same. But yeah, you have to be willing to do that because you don't want to take a chance that your first instinct, which could be correct, is wrong. You got to be willing to give somebody 5 chances, but while you're giving somebody the chances, don't give them money or or the equivalent. Don't defend them in all cases. Sometimes you really have to sit back and watch. Sometimes, and here's the thing: is that people who are usually on the level, and again, not always either. Each case is very specific, but usually people who are actually honest will understand if you don't take their side in something right away. But eventually somebody gets proven right, and the other people, like a great criteria, a great litmus test is somebody gets fucking furious at another person just for saying something. I think this, in fact, is a great example. Is this fucking dude again? Who's his name is like ISFJ Bear or something, and he has some alts, of course, because he's constantly getting reported because he's posting racist shit posting shit on Twitter. Apparently, that's the real crime here, as they have been saying, is posting on Twitter. If it was on Fediverse, I guess they wouldn't give a shit. Why not? That is interesting. That is curious. But it also goes to show why Fediverse is always going to be superior, because if you post the shit on Fediverse, you'll have people who either understand it or know to just goof around with it or something. Even if you're wrong, people are just going to make fun of you, and that's it. On X or Twitter, you're going to have people like this who are going to try to milk it for super chats and monetize it, and of course, by default, cut that money back to YouTube and all that shit. It's all about money for these people, and always was. And again, it's this same situation with Rekieta: is find somebody. What the fuck? Okay. Find somebody who you can just monetize. It was, something that Eric July bragged about. That Umbrella guy, child abuser, very likely actual child molester, not like internet insult. He's a pedo because I don't like him kind of thing, but most likely actually has sexually abused his children in some way. But that's likely. What is proven is that he is a child abuser, though. Again, that's not up for question. That's already was proven. And guys like Legal Mindset covered up for that, because guys like Rekieta covered up. They all knew, of course. They agreed to cover up for it because, again, popularity on YouTube is always more important than morality to all of these people. Again, all of that I'm pointing all of this out because that is a great criteria to find out, how to be always right, so to speak. I'm not saying this to like even expose people. I'm saying this because we had already revealed it. A lot of people, the honest people, have already talked openly about it, and it's a good way to try to gauge what people are going to be like, how they're going to be like that. If they have defended that Umbrella guy, there's something massively horrifying that they have done in their own lives as well. Thankfully, the whole Rekieta fiasco exposed everyone to EVS's actual character. It took them long enough. But here's the thing, is that the next EVS, the next Rekieta, is currently being protected and defended and praised and supported and promoted by other people. And people are just never going to admit that. In fact, it's always likely that the next Rekieta will simply never get caught. All they have to do is just not get arrested. They don't get arrested. Nobody ever admits the truth about them. That's something that, again, was proven by Rekieta. Because what Rekieta was obvious. And again, all of these other YouTubers, they knew about it because they were there. Most of them did cocaine with Rekieta. They were wife swapping. They were, fucking e-girls and e-thoughts and whatever the fuck. E-girls and e-thoughts. It is redundant, I know. But all of them were, doing that and just enjoying that. And then, of course, selling the visual of them being wholesome people. Great parents as they were, then catfishing dudes for dick pics and fucking and wife swapping and all sorts of really not just that behavior is bad, but you look at some of these people, their wives are fucking so dog ugly that they're like, if you see a YouTuber who is like, anti-woke and their wife is ugly, they are on drugs. Usually at the exact moment you are seeing them, they are on drugs. And they have definitely fucked somebody else's wife, and hopefully nobody's fucked their wives either, but still, it's just, it's very sad. It's sad, it's unfortunate. What is the next EVS? There's like 20 of them. Or Rekieta, there's like 50 of them. It's the other YouTubers who they were friends with at any time. Usually, in the case of EVS, it was somebody that EVS was friends with and kicked out. In the case of Rekieta, it was somebody that Rekieta was friends with. Rekieta didn't have the opportunity to really kick anyone else out because he was arrested. So again, that's the situation. They have no principles yet. That's pretty much the criteria. I don't know about Tug being a child abuser. I don't think Tug was a child abuser. He is a child abuser. If you have faked death threats against your own child for money on YouTube and fame and subscriber counts and clicks and all that stuff, you are a child abuser under that criteria. If you have fake death threats against your child and while at the exact same second in your life, you're catfishing, you and your wife are catfishing dudes for dick pics and creepy sex shit, and in, of course, I think it was more than one case, but at least one case, catfishing a dude to just strand him out in the middle of nowhere for presumably no reason. Most likely it was because it was for sex, and maybe Tug found out and knew that it was leaking out and getting out there, and intercepted it somehow and cut him off. But I don't know. That doesn't really make as much sense as just they stranded him out the middle of the nowhere for no reason, just so that they could mock the guy and in DM groups laugh about how they were able to do that to somebody else, to a true believer in Comicsgate. That guy talked about how he was, I forget his name already, but he was a guy who was all in with Comicsgate. He fully believed all the shit with Ethan Van Sciver and all the other e-celebs, and thought it was the greatest thing. And then all of a sudden he got catfished straight out of the middle of nowhere. When you're doing that while faking death threats against your own child for money and clout, that's also child abuse, because you're really just exposing your children to that kind of behavior. You're that kind of parent who does that kind of thing. If you're doing that to strangers, you're definitely doing worse shit to your own kids. That's not up for a question either. That is like the fucking Hyperborean psychic zeitgeist. All you have to do is just be genetically superior and you will know instantly. And that's a good thing. And if you aren't Hyperborean genetically superior and tuned into the psychic zeitgeist, all you have to do is just listen to somebody who is. You know who I'm talking about. I'm okay. Yeah, not a good environment to raise a child. That's putting it very, very mildly. I heard Tug's wife used to catfish people. Oh yeah, I think she even tried that with us, and it didn't work in a very simple way. I just didn't respond to her DM. She tried to catfish me with, or it was a phishing link, I think, because she also did that with a lot of people, I think, to try and get their passwords. And I didn't know it was her until like a year later, and a lot of that shit started coming out, which I think is also extremely important to remember, is a lot of people sat on that for a long time as well. She also led someone on to meet in person, but ditched them. Doug TenNapel had to rescue them. Yeah, that's the story I was talking about. And again, if you're doing that, you are a child abuser inherently too. If you have children and you're doing that kind of shit, you're a child abuser just by default as well. On top of that, and most likely the dick pics that they were that Tug and his wife were catfishing dudes for, most likely their children got exposed to that kind of stuff. Either directly exposed to that stuff, the pictures, or they were exposed to that behavior for sure. That's like they were exposed to the pictures 90%. They were exposed to that behavior 100%. These people are supposed to be adults. Yeah, that's again, this is the big problem. And why are these other YouTubers still covering up for it to this day? Like they only criticize Rekieta now because Rekieta was arrested. They use Rekieta as the lousy scapegoat, to quote the wonderful Quincy, MD, or ME, whatever, who cares? I don't even care. I don't care about anything. But, yeah, they use Rekieta as the one example. It's like, oh, Rekieta was the one who did stuff that's wrong. And it's like, no, all of them were doing stuff that's wrong, and the receipts already proved that years ago. The fact that Rekieta helped cover up for it, Rekieta was directly confronted. Nick Rekieta was asked, is like, what about this, where Tug did the thing with the catfishing? And Rekieta admitted he knew about it. Just straight up admitted. Because here's the thing is that it's, again, like in The Big Short, it's like, why are they confessing? It's like, they're not confessing. They're bragging. And just like these guys, Legal Mindset and whoever the fuck else, who knows, who cares. I only remember Legal Mindset because his name is right here, and also because of the wonderful Ethan Ralph, the Ralph-A-Mail. The most famous quote from the Ralph-A-Mail, of course, is Legal Mindset. Legal Mindset. But they were just earlier in this video, and I was responding to that, and darn it all. The fucking microphone, fuck you, Windows 11. But they were using that exact same Nick Rekieta argument that I need to try and play more of this game. I'm trying to stress test this. Again, fucking, okay, let's go look for an area that has a quest. But they were using that Nick Rekieta argument that we had seen. Oh, yeah, that's right. Go here. Where his whole argument is, I'm popular and you're not. Therefore, you're wrong, or nobody's going to listen to you, or nobody should listen to you. Nick Rekieta came out, just straight up admitted that out in public, and look, his former friends also saying that exact thing, using that exact argument, or lack of one. Whoa.
Hey there.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Hold on a second. That's not very threatening. There we go. Oh, wait, no. Wait, this is a friendly. He's a good friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took care of
Yeah.
those.
Oh. Preston Gravy. Oh, boy. Now, time to start the fucking being bothered for the rest of my life. With Preston Gravy. Well, like Preston Poulter, you know? You know what I was saying? One of the only cool things Preston Poulter ever did was On Accident, where he fucking... And this, it's funny just how much this triggered people is... Preston was going to go on with Rekieta, where Rekieta was going to ambush him. That's like Rekieta to this day tries to pretend that he didn't, but Rekieta was going to ambush him with all sorts of shit, and Preston decided to just snub Rekieta. And there were people who had nothing to do with any of the situation who were pissed off. They were like crying. They were shedding tears in real life on Rekieta's behalf. They were so fucking traumatized by the idea that somebody would snub Nick Rekieta on stream. And even worse was that, well, if anything could be worse than that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's even possible. Is such a thing even possible? Nope. But even worse is then going on stream with Vickyverse and DA Talks, and also me, who don't even have, neither one of, even our combined subscriber accounts would not make one single silver play button. That's very sad. We couldn't be a fucking... Like, to me, silver play button should be said with the same tone of voice as child-raping cannibal. Especially because so many people with silver play buttons are either child abusers or have covered up for child abusers, like Legal Mindset has. And by all means, please try to deny it. Let that blow up in your face just like we got it to blow up in Nick Rekieta's face. Your friend. You're the one making friends with people who are giving... And fucking knew that he was doing cocaine. Probably most likely knew that Rekieta was giving cocaine to his 8-year-old, too. Richard taking his lady for... Oh, yeah, that's right. For some ore action. He really shouted that ore from the rooftops. As his fucking... Speaking of fucking ugly-ass dogs, by the way. Holy shit. Yeah, boy, Zach. Ricardo. That's what he should be called instead of Zach. That would actually be cooler. Ironically and unironically. Which one's better? I don't know. Maybe it's impossible to really judge that. You know me, I don't like to judge. Ah, yes. Yeah, fucking what Anton Chigurh couldn't do, I just fucking nailed. Whoa. That one was just wrong. Is it disgusting? Isn't it rats? Aren't we a corpse? What else they did, I couldn't take in what you said. Well, first of all, a lot. Again, this is just scratching the surface. I think one of the things I was saying before I even got the microphone back on. Hold on a second. I'm going to pet them. Hello. He's beautiful. See, I'm a good person because I didn't shoot that video game bird right there. Told you. Told you. I bet I know why these aren't working either. I want to fucking, you know what? Hold on. I might fucking, to answer a question though. It's good to answer questions. I love answering questions, but, what else did they do? It's just, that's all the stuff I went over is just scratching the surface. And that's the stuff that we know about. The stuff I've forgotten about. Vicky would probably fucking have a better memory of some of the other shit too. But that's the stuff we know about. There's way more that only these people in their whisper networks and their DM groups, they know about and have agreed to shut up about. You'll never hear about it from them. The only time you'll ever find out about it is if one of them gets arrested for it. Then they'll come out and act like they never knew. They'll act like they had no idea, just like they had no idea that Nick Rekieta was even doing cocaine, let alone making his daughter take it. Oh, neat. Wait, is there some good stuff in here? Usually. Yeah, at least one of these. Oh, shit, that's good. Yeah, nice. Some of these. Leave these people without any water. Nice. Yeah, okay. Wood is always the last thing. Or should be. Why you telling me? I don't care. I don't care about it. Whoa! Holy shit. Oh, somebody help. Oh, no, nothing. I don't care. I don't care. In fact, take this. Wow. Perfect shot. Impossible angle. Anyways, you have your loyal following. Yay! Grab the ore, Zach. Yeah, boy, his girlfriend sure grabbed an ore. Fucking licked it up. Just like the wonderful Kiss song. Wait, no. Kiss sucks. And talking what Tug and his wife did. Yeah, the fucking, and that's just stuff I heard about afterwards. Yeah, Tug and his wife were catfishing dudes for dick pics. They faked death threats against their child for clout and money. Everyone went with it. In fact, to the point where, a lot of YouTubers right now who are involved with Rippaverse covered up for it, helped spread the lie, and then backed off when it backfired on them. Sort of like, again, with Rippaverse, it was like the monetize your haters thing. The Umbrella Guy and Eric July both openly gloated about monetizing their haters, only to have it backfire on them spectacularly. If you didn't know, by the way, the Monetize Your Haters series on Eric July's channel is gone. He deleted it. He covered it up because the haters were right. In fact, one of the things that the haters were right about that he doesn't want you to know about is Ethan Van Sciver. Eric July defended Ethan Van Sciver vehemently, fucking going way hard in the paint for Ethan Van Sciver in Ethan's defense in those Monetize Your Haters videos, and now they are just wiped off the face of the internet. The internet was more than happy to forget. Don't believe the bullshit about the internet never forgets. The internet will forget anything that's inconvenient to the under people, if you will, the lower minds, the beneath minds, perhaps you could call them. Anyways, but yeah, that is some stuff. Let me play this while I think I can fix the soundboard. Maybe. I might not be able to, but let me just do a little bit of this first.
Effect on Japan. They don't have any ability to vote or change the discourse. So who are you trying to attract? And that's the thing, is that a lot of these people are just trying to make a couple extra Twitter bucks because most of them are unemployed. They've got that's why they've got all this free time to post throughout the all day, and like a couple $100 goes a long way for someone that's on a benefit or something.
Right. Or especially if you're in India or you're somewhere else, it's like, well, that's going to be a lot of money. That's going to be a lot of money for you to convert into rupees, right? Like whatever, you're sending back as a remittance or whatever the hell you're doing, that could be a lot of money for them. And once again, Elon has replied to some of these accounts, big accounts have replied to this. I'll get that in a second. And the problem is that those interactions are getting them massive bucks, right? They can make thousands of dollars on X with the interactions that they're milking and just going for cranking out content without any actual knowledge of it or representation, and while representing that they are an authoritative source, right?
Mm-hmm.
Knight 742 says, I remember one whose profile said Buddha is king.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. That's another.
So actually, that was one of the ones I had in my folder, but I didn't share. They were claiming to be a Japanese Korean woman, I think, and they actually had posted their profile picture saying they're by the Hankyu, which is actually like the train line that I use quite often. So I was like, well, I can.
The honk shoe? Isn't that the noise you make when you sleep? I think so. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Yeah, I looked and Soundboard said it was transmitting through the Pico microphone, which again is wrong. Now, that might still be inaudible when I fucking hit this. What's a really long one? Oh yeah, this one. This classic. No? I don't think so. I don't think it's working. Whatever. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the soundboard though. But well, there's some good ones, just some wonderful classic ones that are not playing. Again, a lot of stuff that there's no reason to fix this though because it wasn't broken. Windows broke it. I didn't break it. It's not my fault. Okay. Well, yeah. They're talking about something.
I can go show up and meet you.
The honk shoe thing.
But they found out that her profile picture or his profile picture was just taken from some Chinese vlogger that had like 200 views in the video. Yeah. Again, like
200 views.
Like you can find them very easily.
Sucks.
It's very funny to see.
Nobody likes 200 views.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's one that just popped up right now. This is like literally an account that just popped up right now. Let me just show this. Yeah, Shogun called it out. Let me pull this up right now. But it's like this is the level of
they're like salivating at the idea
hilarious.
That somebody faked being Japanese
2 hours ago, right? Like look at this.
Level 13.
I'm just gonna
better
Johan from
level
Japan,
up.
right? I live in Japan. When I went to the bathroom in a cafe, I leave my bag, laptop, phone because no one would touch them, right? This is clearly a freaking AI photo, right? Like the
AI
everything
photos.
about this is AI photo, right?
Looks like it. Now you can do this in Japan, by the way. I mean,
again, okay, so it's an AI photo of something that you can do. It's fucking. They're acting like troll accounts or something they've never heard of before, or fucking shit posting, all of that shit. Or really just the fact that most psyops are just fucking for fun when it's just some goofball doing it. They're acting like Well, I don't know. They're fucking acting like this is some kind of concerted effort to mislead people. But even as they're accidentally admitting almost, it's not even misleading because it's something that's actually true. They're using AI photos. They're using AI photos to to create to create a narrative. Well, not even to create a narrative. The way that people talk about fabricating a narrative, a false narrative. That's really what that means. But when it's not false, it's still the narrative. It's still a narrative. It's a story that they want to tell. If the story's true, that is usually more important. And I agree that it's not good to use fake shit to try to push a story that's true, because then it could get people to disbelieve it. But at the same time, we're talking about like fucking Facebook bombs and shit on the normie pig cattle social media. It's so many levels down from actually mattering. It matters only because you think it matters. But again, when it's telling about something that is correct, then it really is just trolling. In fact, the trap that they're walking you into is getting you to deny it when you know it is real. I need some water. Could have gotten up for some water. I'm not going to. I'm probably going to wrap up the stream in a little bit, actually. What is your favorite console? Shit. I think just... There's the Super Nintendo, but you know what? The PlayStation 2 had some... First of all, the fact that the PlayStation 2 could play PS1 games makes it kind of a combination. Like anything that was good about the PS1 is then good about the PS2, plus all the stuff that was on the PS2. And then, like, my least favorite would be the PS3. But the Super Nintendo is the one I not just that I grew up with, but most specifically that yeah, it's just really scratchy there, way deep down in here. Oh, that's better. That feels so much better. But like that was the one where some of the best games, like fucking Final Fantasy 3. You know, the one with the Moogle on the cart. There is no other Final Fantasy 3. Final Fantasy 3 was the one that came out for the Super Nintendo. But like Chrono Trigger and just great RPGs that are so good that they're still like they're getting released onto PC now still. Well, Chrono Trigger was put on PC like a few years ago, of course, but that's just how. Again, that they're making games like Chrono Trigger still because it was so straightforward, kind of stripped down, simple and fun, while also being I want to say it was also depthful or whatever. Oh, but it was. I mean, it had a lot to it, but it just had a nice, charming story. Yeah. And, here we go. Oh, boy. You motherfuckers. But yeah, just great stuff. And there were, like, several other games. Like, just when the Super Nintendo was dying, it came out with games like Yoshi's Island and that kind of shit. It was coming out with games way past the point where it shouldn't have anymore, or whatever. Games that were, like, really changing shit. And then my least favorite console after that is the N64. I wanted to love the N64. There's still great games on the N64. Mario 64 is great. GoldenEye is great. To the point where people are porting that. People are porting not just GoldenEye. People made a port of GoldenEye. What am I doing? Oh, that's what I'm doing. Oh. Not just porting GoldenEye to PC, but with mouse and keyboard controls. They already did that years ago. And works great. Works great, looks great, is great, real great with fucking, widescreen support and shit. It's made to run on modern PCs. It's the same old graphics, but I mean, anyone with a soul knows that a game isn't good because it has good graphics. The best game in the world can have completely outdated graphics. Really, the only time graphics are bad is if you can't tell what the fuck's going on. Which, to be honest, is kind of modern graphics. Alright, sweet. There was another... Oh, yeah. There they are. Holy shit, lots of eggs. I want them. I want it. Problem solved. Problem solved itself. I not only didn't care, but I also don't care. Don't you? Fucking the most adorable jump scare. Okay, here.
Wait there.
What? Cancel. Wait, no, hold on. He needs to follow me. Okay. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, consoles. I think someone made a spiritual successor to Golden. Oh, there was, I think it's called Agent... Oh. Nice. Sweet. Agent 64 Spies Never Die. That is not out yet. There's a demo for that on Steam. It looks awesome. I want it so bad. There are probably others that are also wonderful. Wow. Just, to reload, you just dunk your magazine into the water, and it flies back up on its own. Incredible. What? Oh, no. Like, games to be stylized. Yeah, there's a lot of that. To be honest, there's a lot of great games coming out right now and have been for years. They're just not the dumb whenever people are like, oh, games suck so much, it's like, that's because you're playing the gay AAA shit. What are you, a fucking pleb? That's pure underperson energy right there. There are tons of great games coming out. More now than ever. A lot more slop and a lot more of the AAA games suck, but I mean, who gives a shit about the AAA games? That's the thing. People are like, I'm not going to buy this. It's one more Ubisoft game, and I'm not going to... It's like, you still buy the Ubisoft games? I stopped years ago. If I get an Ubisoft game, it's a game that's 10 years old, had a price drop, and is on sale. That's what I've been doing, really, ever since Steam started doing summer sales. But then again, you look at my Steam account, it really speaks for itself. I have fucking like almost 2,000 games. Probably never going to touch half of them. I have 2,000 games, almost. It's like 1,700, actually. It's a little close, numerically, anyway. Actually, I think it is 1,800 now, but most of them are like... just slop games that I got like 40 in one bundles for like $2 on fucking sites that I was like, is this site sketchy? Fanatical. I think it was called Bundle Stars originally. It's called Fanatical now, and they don't do the 40 in one anymore. They used to do that all the time, and I would buy sometimes for like $1. So I'd get 40 games on Steam. It was like, now I look at all these games. I would just never play them. Although sometimes I would play a couple of them. I would look at it and be like, oh, this one looks interesting. And then I would play it. Sometimes I would love it. Like, there's all sorts of bizarre, little, tiny fucking indie games. Is this just a... Oh, it's a person. Okay. I was going to fucking be like, free power armor suit. No, I guess not. He has that cool paint job, though. Aren't these the Atom Cats or whatever? Yeah, that must be. Disappointing. I'm disappointed in you, motherfucker. Older games and getting into emulators. Yeah, that's another thing. Emulators, yeah, right there. You don't fucking... Like, I got a handheld. Fucking, I think it was in, like, the end of... Well, hold on a second. Problem averted. Wow. I got an R36S in like 2023. My brother got the Miu Mini Plus, and the Miu Mini Plus is, to be honest, it's better. But the R36S has like 2 sticks, but it's basically they're the same size and shape as a Game Boy, except a little smaller, maybe more like a Game Boy Color or something. Whoa, getting fucked up. There we go. No, I'm fine. I'm open. What the fuck? Why are the fucking Atom Cats just... Here, I'm swimming. Yeah, I have a mod that just lets me swim by pushing. This game, the swimming is so shitty. But again, fixed by mods. Isn't that the most important thing, is that game can be fixed by mods? Holy shit. Yeah, I know. Everything's red and blurry. I did heal. I healed like fucking 3 times. Whatever. I wonder how much progress I lost. I kind of don't care. I don't care about anything. Whatever. I don't care about anything. Ubisoft dug up Rayman. Yeah, well, don't be surprised if they do. In fact, didn't they do that already? Didn't they fucking re-release Rayman? Solasta 2. Yeah, go ahead. Is that fucking the Crockpot? Did you have any of that Crockpot stuff? You didn't have it? Well, it might be good. It should be good. Is this loading? This is, yeah. No, it's, well, okay, it just, holy shit. I just lost like fucking 20 minutes. I don't care. Again, I'm just kind of stress testing this, so I don't give a shit about... I could not find that fucking 44 Magnum, though. The Auto Mag, I mean. No, I looked all over the place for 20 straight minutes, and it wasn't there. It was not hard to find. It wasn't there. I think I have to reinstall the mod. I think I have to remove the mod. No. Oh, okay. You're right in the head. Fuck you. Sweet. Ha. Perfect. Impossible trick shot. Anyways. Yeah, some stuff. F-Zero clone. Aero GPX. See, look at how many amazing games there are. And just more coming out. So it doesn't matter what the AAA, quadruple A, whatever, or even Nintendo. You don't even need anything close to a Nintendo anymore. Yeah. Oh, that worked. That's cool. It's funny, that worked not because the stuff is interactable. See, nothing's happening. When you swing it like that, it considers it a melee attack. That's why. I forgot if I tried Vrick, which is the thing that gives you a whole body that you can like grab people and actually interact with things with your hands. But I think it was crashing. Like when I would try to load it, every time the game would just crash right back to desktop after 1 second of trying to just load the game. So it's unfortunate, but I can live. I'll live. Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah, I heard about that. People want to play these games. Yeah, again, that's what they should do, is take all the old classics and just port them. In fact, I think it's kind of insane that Nintendo doesn't re-release some of that. Like fucking Mischief Makers would be great to re-release. Maybe they do, but they make you pay, what, like $8 a month or some shit to have access to it. The fucking games as a service, the worst fucking people committing that is Nintendo. It's really a shame because Nintendo just used to be the best. And then the PlayStation 1 came out. The PlayStation 1 actually had a lot of shitty games for a while. You know what, here, I'll listen to a bit more of this, but the point is generally has been made. I think I should, in fact, take this stream and cut it to the point where I fix my microphone and just re-upload it. That way it would actually be watchable, maybe. To the 5 people who are subscribed to my channel.
Yeah, which is true.
Just leave expensive things lying around, but you can typically do this.
This is true, but no Japanese person would state this in English in this format. And then, of course, the good one is, the Shogun responding here has been on this quest. The Shogun, TYO, shout out to him, said, Tories, today's newspaper, you know the rules.
I can't think of worse condemnation.
Right, and now he's trolling them with an AI photo of a girl, right? Because
he's
that's
trolling
their
them.
tactic, right? Throwing their own tactic in there.
I mean, it's effective. You can't knock it if it works.
Like, again, it's another thing that Rekieta would always do is act like he was the one trolling after he basically shit himself in public. Yeah, again, I'm following the guy that they're supposedly doing an expose on, and he is completely unchanged. Like, there's no difference. I mean, some people, again, trying to report his account, which is ultimately what they want here is to get the guy thrown off. They won't say that. They won't admit that. But it just like with Rekieta, of course, as they were. There's a reason they were friends. This is always worth remembering. Is there's a reason people like that are friends with Nick Rekieta in the first place, is because they're like-minded in behavior, where they will go in public and say they're against deplatforming, and then in private they will be in the whisper networks that are doing deplatforming and cheering it on and saying, here's how you can really get them banned. Nick Rekieta gave Liam Gray advice on how to get our channel pulled while in public on streams, saying that he was against doing that. And again, it blew up on Ethan Van Sciver too, and for a while Ethan, there was the whole adventure where Ethan was trying to get Liam Gray to commit suicide, and then about a year later, Ethan let Liam Gray back into Comicsgate, and all that was completely forgotten. Because, again, ultimately, the people, these people do not care about the actual principles of anything. They just care about how many, the numbers they're doing on YouTube, how much money they can make for the woke mob that they pretend to be against on YouTube.
It
I
works.
want to see how much of this
once
I
again,
can listen to before
very,
I
very
just-
clear. Okay, so another one is they have no original content, so they have no
Before I
opinions of
cash
their
out.
own. They're not going to post an original opinion that is just like, for example, text, right? Just throwing out their text or throwing out their comment
Original
or throwing out their
opinions,
the
that's
stream they're on.
way more
right? 'Cause
important
they're
than mass
not showing their
immigration.
face, right? So they've got zero original content. What they're typically doing, and Josh, you can go into this in detail, is taking old news or other people's photos and stealing them, because it's very easy on X. You just go to Snippet Sketch, or you can go to the video downloader or whatever else, just download that content and reposting it. So they'll look at other big accounts that are actually in Japan and just repost their stuff, often with a little bit more anti-immigrant
so he thinks
slant
he should
or some
be-
sort
okay.
of bias slant.
Basically, he thinks that he should be getting that sweet monetized click instead of these people who are taking videos from channels. It's sort of like the people who take TikTok videos and repost them somewhere else for all that delicious Twitter money. Possibly more important than YouTube money. Twitter money also, of course, is the same rule, the same situation, where it's going back to whatever part of the woke mob, but it's again because it's Elon Musk now. There probably is a little bit of a difference, but I mean Elon Musk is not gonna withhold the money from the ADL or some shit like that. Some of that money still goes to the ADL. Even they'll say Elon Musk is an anti-Semitism risk or whatever, and then they'll make money on Twitter through the engagements and all that shit. So yeah, that's not good. But again, where are they going after? They're going after some shit posters who are saying that mass immigration to Japan is a bad thing. And they're doing it with AI pictures or taking other people's videos. Who gives a fuck? That is not important. If you think that's important, you're just pretending it's important because you want super chatters to be whipped up and send you more super chats that you then cut back to YouTube. You didn't tube, more like. What's on fire here? Something on fire? What is that? No, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Time to shoot a car. Yay. Yay. I just like blowing up the cars. I just like it. Oh, it's a tire fire. Wonderful. It's been burning for 300 years. Before the war.
perhaps using some slurs.
Just
right,
a-
that tends to be their tactic. I mean,
Oh
what do
no,
you think
using
about that?
Yeah, I mean,
guys
there was a pretty
chewy ads
obvious one
using
that
slurs
happened
is for sure
recently,
bad.
actually, with, I think Bun posted this one. Is that they were posting a 6-year-old video of like a drunk Englishman that was like, he was being a bad person, obviously, like you should criticize him, but they were posting and saying, like, well, this just happened. This just happened.
Right.
Or like, you have that weird.
Oh, they
bear
said
character that
something
was like
happened that
today.
didn't happen at that exact
September
time.
23rd, we're marching for against the WHO, and then it's actually just it's a photo from winter. Doesn't even make sense, but it's summer in Japan currently.
And so someone asked, is it even yes, they do go for monetization. A lot of these are blue check mark accounts. They do push for monetization.
Oh, shit,
Some of them
the
now.
blue check
There could be other
marks.
potential motives. I'm going to talk about that. Put a little bit of my tinfoil on, but there is
Other
clear
potential
window
motives.
to monetization.
This guy's
here.
gonna tell you about the
and
potential
these accounts
motives.
can monetize quite quickly because they can get bigger accounts to retweet them very, very fast. Weird for 5 says, will Disney go after Glitch? Knights of Guinevere
weird.
was made by the creator of Owl House. I don't know enough about Glitch. I'd have to find out more. Probably, I don't know. Maybe. We're in the weirdest timeline right now, so anything can happen.
It's weird.
You know,
Chewy ad,
is
it's
it possible?
just weird.
Yes.
Where's the
Okay.
I'm hitting
Another
it
thing is use of
in
Western
honor
racial slurs
of-
and anti-Islam. Do you still have that one pulled up, Josh? Yeah, that one you could show real quick. Can you share screen on the one?
Yeah, let me.
Oh, I bet
let me
this is really
just,
funny.
Clear my window.
They're already
first.
laughing.
Okay, now,
It's so
now
funny.
guys, of course, I'm not condoning
really
racial
funny.
slurs, but what I'm saying here is they're using racial slurs that a Japanese person would never, ever, ever use. Right?
right.
Japanese people are not using westernized racial slurs. So okay, here I'll add this to the
one?
stage.
Is this one you meant?
Yes.
If these guys are in Japan, or one of them is, one of the things that didn't get picked up was earlier. They were giving their Japanese bona fides, like they identified authentic Japanese words. Therefore, they're legit, whereas these other guys on Twitter aren't, because they're using racial slurs that Japanese people don't use. Again, this is way more important than mass immigration to Japan. Especially because it's getting monetized, and what's not getting monetized as much while these people are monetizing it is these brave heroes who are wading essentially doing the modern equivalent of wading the floodwaters of Katrina, but digitally, to inform you about somebody on the internet pretending to be Japanese, or saying that a protest is happening at some time when the protest didn't actually happen. And again, the end result is what? That people might see mass immigration to Japan as a bad thing or a good thing, something like that. But again, the fact that the goal really, what they won't admit out loud, is the same goal, like with their friend Nick Rekieta, is to deplatform, while also saying we're not trying to deplatform anyone. As what they mean, what people mean by that is they don't want to deplatform anyone themselves and have their fingerprints on it, because they saw what happened when Mundane Matt did that, and they don't want to become another Mundane Matt. That's the biggest priority. But if you're getting your fans to target somebody because their horrible crime of they're not actually Japanese, as they post about an actually relevant social media in Japan, or social matter in Japan, and getting a lot of clicks doing it. That's the most horrifying part of it all, is that they're getting attention on social media for doing it. And again, one of the guys they're talking about doing this is just straight up a shit poster who just posts fucking trolling shit, rage bait for fun. That's the thing, is that the reason why I followed him was not even because I'm interested in the topic so much because it's basically stuff I already knew about. It's because specifically it was funny shit. And that's it. That's the only criteria. And that's what you'll always see from the people who were friends with Nick Rekieta is if somebody's posting funny shit and it's like without their permission and it's shit that they think they should be making money for saying and they're not getting that money for saying it, one of their tactics is get the person flagged or, just try to destroy their reputation. And with that, getting flagged always comes with that, regardless of what they say. They're always going to say that they're not trying to get anyone flagged. And the same thing with Nick Rekieta. Am I okay? I'm okay. All healed up. But yeah, it was the same thing we saw with Rekieta, Comicsgate, hundreds of other people, is that they'll say, I don't condone this thing, but they actually do. They just don't publicly condone it. They don't want people seeing them say that they condone it or, that kind of stuff. It's all about the public perception. It's all about making you believe the public perception. The least important factor of that, even to their own fans, is what they actually do, what they actually believe in. It's about what they say they're believing in. And they want to make money off of that. And if somebody else starts making money that they think should be going to them, then that is the worst thing. It's the worst crime humanly possible to them. You know what? I will go back to home base and I will cash out. So it's nice that people showed up. I wanted to see if the chat would even work though, because for the last couple of streams, chat wouldn't show up. It wouldn't show up on any kind of overlay. I basically stopped with the restream because streaming to Twitch, that was just for a goof anyways. It wasn't to actually do anything. Sweet Baby Inc. FF Tactics has DEI level. Yeah, you know what? I saw that because I follow them on Steam. The Sweet Baby Inc. detected curation group. They said Final Fantasy Tactics is DEI level 1. I don't know what that means either. Is that Kurt Metzger? No, it isn't. I don't think. I'm pretty sure it isn't. This game seems to be working, but again, it worked for a while and then would crash. So I'm gonna keep testing it. That's what I'm gonna do. Things are working in this game so far. So again, I want to test this to make sure. I think a public test is the best way to do that, so that I can do the actual video recordings for the Subscribe Star. So if you want to be more informed about all the shit that Legal Mindset doesn't want you to know about, what he's trying to cover up, just like all of his friends, the former Rekieta friends, all that shit. If you want to hear people actually talk openly and honestly about that when nobody else will, fucking Medicare won't do it, Kino Casino won't do it, Kiwi Farms won't do it, none of those people will do it. We do it, and we were right about it when none of them ever were. So again, if you want to know, become Paper Pig on our Subscribe Star. Again, we wanted all of our videos to be in public. We got flagged way too many times. We can't do that anymore. And the people who pretended to be, is he being a follower now? Oh, fuck. Whatever. The people who pretended to be against what happened to us took the side of the people who were doing it to us. They all took the side of the people who deplatformed us, lied about us, slandered us, all that shit. So, I'm a general now. That's pretty cool. So yeah, again, if you want to hear from the people who got it right from the start, go check out. Is he following me? What? Oh, fuck. There. Now you're forced. Oh, fuck, the Starlight Drive-In, my least favorite place in the game. There's a million things to break down, and I know I'm going to spend hours doing it. Okay. Whatever, though. Thanks for people who did show up and hang out and whatever. You know what? Thanks for whoever was yelling in the chat 100 times that my mic wasn't working. That actually, I did need that. Because, again, fucking Windows 11. Windows 11 been fucking up so much. Reinstalling won't even help because you'll still be reinstalling Windows 11, which is the disease. That's why I've been doing streams. If you've followed us enough, the backup channels that we have, again, we're some of the only people who actually need backup channels. As proven, all the times we got flagged specifically for telling the truth, and you never see any of the other law tubers ever stand up and admit, because it was their friends who were doing it. But yeah, we had to basically hide our videos, and we used to the paywall used to be $1, and we had to raise that because some of the plebs, so they fucking but the people who were basically had hate followed us from Comicsgate were able to just pay the $1. And so we had to raise that to $5, and it sucks, but also a good way to support us. There. Feels better. But yeah, the backup channels, though, there's a couple, and I've been using one of them to stream a few times, kind of test streams, little goofy-ass short test streams, from the Steam Deck. So you can follow those if you want. But the streams I did on those were like a half hour long of me just driving around in like GTA, the definitive edition, which I got on sale. In fact, it's autumn sale right now on Steam. Wonderful. And as much as the definitive editions of GTA are like, fuck, they're the ones with the songs cut out and shit. I mean, there's mods that add the songs back in, but they're also like with Unreal 5 or some shit. It's like, fuck. But at the same time, I've just been enjoying the game. GTA 3 is kind of my favorite in the series. I know fucking San Andreas was the big one, but that first island in GTA 3 is so fucking comfy. It's just great. Anyways, all right. Cashing out for now. Thanks for people hanging out. And if you want to actually see more and see into the mind of God, check out our Subscribe Star. And for everyone else, should have listened to Shitty Webcomics. Yeah.